Hello everyone, recovering Flesh and Blood Addict here. Now I've got some premium slop for everyone. Now, I'm returning to Flesh and Blood. It's been a minute, but I thought something that I've always wanted to do in one of my past videos back in the day, hold up, was make a tier list. Now, I think I have the most experience in the world when it comes to Brute, even though I took 2 years off from playing competitively. I still kept up with meta, I still bought all my cards, came top 8 at a Road to Nationals the other day, and I thought, hey man, let's do a tier list of every single Brute card. Not Shadow Brute though. I'm not doing Shadow Brute. So, we've got everything laid out. We've got the heroes, we got all the equipment, we've got all the weapons, and then every card by set. So welcome to the Wraith, all the way to Hunted. So, start off with this. We'll just rank the heroes. So, we'll go KO. Now, KO's a new recent addition. I never played him during his prime, but I feel like he's always going to be a solid B. And the reason why is that he only has one hand, but you know, I know there's KO mains out there, but you know, he's just not for me. Reinhar's actually just a C. I feel like he's a little worse than KO, especially KO has the +1 ability to all of the attacks. Meanwhile, Reinhar's just a flat ability that intims on discard, which doesn't happen too often. So we'll leave him at C. We've got Leviah. I thought I'd keep Leviah in because some people still do play Leviah as a like normal Brute without any of the shadow cards. Shout out Mansant. And I think it's just straight unplayable if you're just playing a hero without a hero ability. And then good old KO. I think this is E. I've went to many events in the past playing KO, and it was the worst time of my life. What is it? 1 to 4 it halves, and then 5 to 6 on it it doubles the attack. It's just not worth it, especially for a blitz hero. The fact that like I'm very happy they didn't like reprint KO with the same ability. I know they like changed his lore, like he was red and now he's green. Who cares? All right, onto the equipment. Let's start off with Skullhorn. Now, Skullhorn's a really cool choice. I like Skullhorn. I have used it aggressively in the past when we didn't have other options, but because it is just a straight Arcane Barrier 2, and then in a pinch, like let's say against a Kano or a what's the name, Florian, you can actually pop it off, and then just try and go for a kill, like with a Reiner or with a KO, to try and get another card out of it. But because it's only Arcane Barrier 2, and it's like our only Arcane Barrier 2, I'm gonna leave it at B. Scaling Fleshbag is a straight S, and I feel like Scaling Fleshbag is like Brute's strongest equipment. It has one of the most craziest abilities where it can like stop a player's whole turn. Like you can like defend 2, intim a card. They have 1 card in hand, 1 card in arsenal, which they planned on pitching and then playing. There's so many interactions with Scaling Fleshbag to swing back tempo, which is something that Brute was always struggling against with like aggro decks or aggro tempo decks. So Scaling Fleshbag being there, being able to like take a ton of damage and then finally be able to like chuck the swing back, Scaling Fleshbag allows you to do that. That's Scaling Fleshbag. Amazing. These 2 cards, I am just gonna rate these 2 as F. Okay, I'll rate the Monstrous Veil a little bit higher. Monstrous Veil can be good, but it just has the same ability as Skullhorn, but instead blocks. So I'll leave it to D. It blocks for 1. If it blocked for 2, it probably could sit at like C, but yeah. Oh no, it's going down to E. It's going down to E. Bone Vizier, I feel like in potentially a more aggressive format, this could be good, but this is just still an E. Because yeah, when you block with it, you reveal a top card of your deck, kind of like a pack hunt. On to chests. Savage Sash. I've had a lot of testing with Savage Sash as of recent. I think this is a very good equipment, but I don't think it's the be-all, end-all. A lot of the time, like in tempo matchups, I am just bringing Tunic along. But with Savage Sash, I feel like it belongs in A because against aggressive decks, you have that extra 2 block, or you could even just use it for an extra 1 block. And then you have like one turn where you could potentially pop off 2-3 cards for 1 cost or 2 cost, depending on what it is. I don't believe it is S. Maybe back in the day when Berserk was a thing, that this probably could be deemed as S. But a lot of the time, like if you're going like pulping into another attack, like it just doesn't fulfill every single, like put it this way, Blood Splatter Vest, the one that Ninja just got, that's an S. This is a once per game ability where it just pops off once. That's it. That's my opinion on it. Savage Sash is very good, but it's not the be all end all. Not like how Scaling Fleshbag is. Barkbone Strapping, still decently good. I know it only blocks for 1, but sometimes getting like 2 resources out of this is very good, even 3. I know sometimes getting like nothing hurts, but yeah, we'll chuck it as C. I forget this thing's name. I think it's like Meat something. We'll just chuck this as Unplayable. You have to have a Might token, and you have to have an Agility token for this to be able to block for 2, and that's it. So straight Unplayable. Alright, on to arms. Skull Crushers. When this thing came out, I thought Brute could have had a new time in the sun. I ran it every single time because it was just Iron Rot Gauntlets. This can be put at E. It's not an F because like there is still a way where you can go like pitch Tunic, pitch a blue, use Tunic, roll a 6. Actually, anything that's yeah, it's just an F. It could be 8 damage out of a blue, but who cares? It's horrible. Hide Tamers. I feel like with Apex Bonebreaker in the game, this is still a very good choice because even though it's not on the turn that you need the 2 extra Might tokens, it still blocks for 1. But you can always like Arsenal like a CNC and then like use the 2 Might tokens with the CNC. There's also like other niche interactions with like Cast Bones where you can create the extra 2, which means you only need to get 4 for Cast Bones. So I think this can be a B, but I am gonna put it. It is better than Barkbone. No, it's not better than Barkbone. All right, it's gonna sit at a C. It's very good, but because Apex Bonebreakers exist, this thing is just insane. Block for 2, block for 1. Who cares if you're getting the value out of blocking with a 6 attack? It just is so like it's Brute's best equipment currently, in my opinion, other than Scaling Fleshbag. Actually, because of that, I think it does deserve to be an S. It's good against aggro decks. It's good against tempo decks. It's good against... Oh, I guess it's not good against wizards, but... You know what I mean? Like, it's very, 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 very good. Alright, legs. Scab skin leathers. You either die by the scabs or you live by the scabs. Scabs does not deserve to be in A, B, or C. It deserves to be in D only because it blocks for 2 and blocks for 1. And taking that one, what's it called? Taking your leg position is always a position that should be able to give you action points, and it should never be up to a like a 50-50. I have rolled I have rolled so many ones in my life where I just cannot roll this card ever again. My first game coming back to Flesh and Blood after a year, I rolled Scabs for the first time ever, rolled a 1, and then next turn I was like, oh, okay, it can't happen twice in a row, rolled a 1 again. So there is no way in the world that I could ever rate this above a D, just because all it does is blocks. And I think if we're like comparing if the card just blocks by itself, blocks for 2, blocks for 1, yes, there are like quick flex reflectors. What are they called? I forget the name. It blocks for 2, blocks for 2, blocks for 2, just for a blue pitch in against a aggressive deck. If you want like good blocking, that's what you'd run over Scab Skin Leathers. Like, yeah. That's it for Scabs. I don't even know the name of this. I know it's destroy and make an agility token. We will chuck this at E. This is destroy and make a might token. We'll chuck that at E as well. Beaten trackers. So this is like the one of the 2 options you run with Scab Skin Leathers. So beaten trackers, it says, what does it say again? If you've discarded 6 attack this turn, you can gain an action point. It blocks for 1 as well, so you can get the block 1 value out of it before. And because even though I don't run beaten trackers, I still believe its versatility is better than Scab Skin Leathers. So I think it deserves to sit in this C position. Like, maybe B, but because how conditional it is, I want to really sit it at C. Alright, on to weapons. Rock. Now, a lot of people would want me to like actually put this in like an actual tier, but this is just straight unplayable. I think in my life, I've played like 1 rock deck in my life, and I think like I've made it be able to hit once. Yes, 3 for 7's crazy, but you have to have no cards in hand to be able to play it. Yeah, no. Ravenous Meat Axe, we all remember the video. Ravenous Meat Axe is an absolutely terrible card. Even if, like, let's say KO could run it. The fact that you thin out your deck further as, like, when you're already playing Brute, any player that sees that you run Ravenous Meat Axe can easily just start blocking your entire deck out, and you lose like probably like 3 turns quicker when you're versing a deck that wants to block you out. So because of this still does deserve to be an F. Yes, Reiner can have some cool interactions with it, but just because if an opponent sees that, like, sees through your game plan, they can actually just like straight up just start blocking you out. It's not good. It's just not good. Bone Masher, it's going to be the replacement for Romping Club if Reiner ever goes. And 2 for 4 is still very good value. Like, you're paying a yellow card for like a red card value. So I think like it does deserve to be at C. Like, just because of that itself. Like, it trades a yellow card for 4 damage or like a blue card for 4 damage. I don't even know the name of this. I think it's called like, let me have a look. What is its name? Rugged Roller. I knew it had something to do with rolling. Yeah, no, straight up playable. If you manage to like cheat and like get 2 6s, like, it's not even good with the hero that it should be good with, right? Like, the fact that this is a 2-hander, 1 for 6 if you roll a 6, but KO can't run it. Like, I genuinely would think this could be playable if KO could run it. Like, the 2 specialization cards that KO runs, this actually might like could be playable. Like I'd put it at F, but without it being a two-hander, like it's just straight unplayable. Romping Club. I'm putting Romping Club at S. Now, I think a lot of people would expect this card to be maybe like B or C. Just because like claws exist, but the fact that Romping Club has the highest 2-card damage output in the game, which is like pulping a Wild Ride into Romping Club for 2 cards, is 11 damage. With Tunic, of course. This, like, Romping Club allows you to, like, play, like, a late-game ninja where you can just pitch swing for club if they're on, like, 2, like, either 1 or 3 life while you're threatening the, what's it called? Reckless Swing. This card is insanely good. Like, if this swung for 3, you know, this is just straight D tier. But the fact that, like, this swings for 5, like you're trading like 1 blue card for 4 or 5 damage. It's just insanely good. And I think like currently, other than like Anathos, it's the highest attack value in the game currently. Yeah, anyways, yeah, that's it for Romping Club. Absolutely love Romping Club. Mandible Claws. Yes, they're good with KO. Yes, they're good with Levia. Yes, they are good with Reiner, but they are not as good as Romping Club. The thing is, there's different like matchups where you would bring Romping Club compared to Mandible Claws. Mandible Claws is like for a deck that you know you can't out tempo, while Romping Club is for like a deck you can tempo out. Mandible Claws, you know, they swing for 3. Of course, with Blood Rush Bellows, they swing for 5, go again. But on those off turns where, like, you've had to block out 3 cards, which Brute loves to do. Brute loves to, like, chuck 3 cards at someone and just swing with club. Like, swinging for 3 just feels, like, really horrible. Like, it just doesn't feel like a good turn when you just swing for 3 comparing to swing for 4. I know the pop-off turns are insane, but with the amount of, like, on-hits in the game, I just don't think I can, like, solidly run this at S. Like, when I build a deck, I build it around Romping Club, and I don't build it around Mandible Claws. I build with both in mind, but Mandible Claws, it's okay. Ball Breaker, I'm gonna put in A as well. Doesn't have the go again, but can run like a pseudo Romping Club in like a KO list where you can just like gain the 1 additional damage. But when I play Reiner, I play 1 Mandible Claw, 1 Ball Breaker, and I think this is starting to catch on. I know other people are running this as well, but I know it doesn't have the go again, but it doesn't need it. Mini Medax, we can chuck this in D. Same kind of thing as Ravenous Medax, but actually no, you can just go Ravenous Medax. You're terrible. Oh no, it is one-handed. I guess you. No. There's no way. I don't know. D, E, F. We can go E. I don't think it's Ravenous Medax level, because you could always like run this and this, and like I guess against like a KO, a Kano or something, you could swing with this and like threaten an Intim or like threaten more damage with KO. While you have like an Arcane Land or something. I don't know. It's okay. Alright, that's it for all the weapons and all the equipment. I don't know what you guys will say, but I think this is pretty good. S, A. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. All equipment and all that. Alright, so everything's in order from Welcome to Wrath all the way down to Hunted. So let's start off with good old Awakening Bellow. The first card I ever pulled is a foil red Awakening Bellow. I have it downstairs. Awakening Bellow, +3, cost 1, intims. I think this card is starting to get better, but the fact that it's like a 1 for 3 cost 1 feels pretty terrible. I know it intims, and I know like Reinars and what are they called, and KOs don't really care about it because it's not too much damage, but they can like kill your opponent late game. I don't know, like going first it feels good, going second it doesn't feel good. It might feel good late game, but you're trading this card for like another card that could be better. I'm gonna chuck this in D tier, and I don't think I could ever rate it anything higher than D. Barraging Beatdown. I think this card is very good. I've recently cut Barraging Beatdown from all my lists. Because against an aggressive deck, yes, they will like just not worry about the damage, but because it isn't a 6 attack, it really hurts Rhinar decks where you could, or like Rhinar KO decks, where it could have been a 6 attack that you could have gotten for like a Barraging Beatdown. I mean, a Blood Rush Bellows or something turn. But in the past, I would have easily ranked this as an S. But currently, I feel like it's just an A. Red is insane. Blue is very good. Yellow has niche circumstances. But I think currently it's very good, but I can't rate it, like, I can't rate it S. I just can't. Primal Bellow. This card is very good, but it just feels like a worse version of the Beat Chest card. I forget its name off the top of my head. One downside is that this is a 0 cost. If this cost 1, I actually think this card would be really good. And the reason why is because if you want to play this, you could easily just like accidentally discard the blue that you wanted to pitch to like Swing with Romping Club or something. So I'm gonna chuck this in C. Savage Feast. I think this card's always been trash. But like I know drawing a card's very good, but it doesn't have go again. It's very good off like beaten trackers, but it's once per game. Draw a card, gain an action point. Well, I'll chuck this down in D. Savage Swing. This is worse than D. This is E. There's just so many better cards for Savage, better than Savage Swing. Yes, it is a 6 yellow, but costs 1 and discards a card. So it's like really you're trading a like a I don't know. I just don't like it. It could be good. It might. Nah, it's not that good. Smash Instinct. I feel like you have like a few options in every single like Rhinar or KO deck, where you've got like Send Packing, Smash Instinct, Riled Up, Regenerate, and this card. You have like an option where you can choose the intim, you can choose the extra +1 damage, you can choose an actual effect or like recursion. And I feel like this is actually just player choice. I've had a lot of success with having this in my deck for like late game or even just going first. But I think it's the worst out of all of them. I think it is. So maybe we'll go like E for this one, and then we'll check where the other ones are at, because I feel like all of them are at least B or C. Pack Hunt. This is a beautiful card if you're like running on a budget. There's a bunch of like 2-cost attacks that you want in your deck at all times, like a Splatter Skull. Put it this way, if you're playing Brute, when you're looking to attack, you want something that costs 2 and not something that costs 3. And the fact that this costs 2 to attack with instead of being 3 compared to like a Smash Instinct, and is still a 6 attack, this is like still very good. It's the cheaper version, but recently at an armory, someone like a completely brand new player, new to Brute, actually beat me because just the amount of intim cards he had, like he just kept swinging at me. Meanwhile, I was trying to tempo him out, but he just kept like just chucking barraging beatdowns and packed hunts against me. But yeah, like it's still a decent card. Breakneck Battery. This is an outdated card. I'm gonna chuck this at E. I wouldn't want this. This used to be good. It used to be really good because you were basically trading. So I think this like evaluated out to like it's 3 cards for like 2 damage for each card you had, but then you had Romping Club afterwards. So it was a 6 for 5 for 3 cards, but now we have a 6 for 6 and 5 for 2 cards. So it does block, but who cares at this point? It also like a red for a 6. Wrecker Romp. This is straight S. Every single Brute deck has to run this. It's a 6 block 3 blue. Nothing's better than this. Like, Flesh and Blood or like LSS refuses to give Brute another 6 blue, and I think if like we had another 6 blue, this card like the deck would feel too consistent. It could be A, but you know, every single list you ever see will always have this in it. What is the name of this? It's like Bone something. Roll a dice, yellow, gain prevention to the dice rolled. This is just straight E. It's not unplayable because you could run it against like a Kano. But like you have to like use a tunic count. Like if it costs 0, it'd be great, but I think it'd be too overpowered if it costs 0. You have to use like a tunic count or like pitch to play it. Meanwhile, you could have just like pitched both cards to prevent like arcane damage with it. Other than that, I don't see any other use other than just like blocking arcane damage with this. What is the card's name? I don't care. It's got something like. Anyway, Sand Sketch Plan. Probably one of the better old cards. Sand Sketch Plan is like a, what's it called? A time snap potion that searches any card in your deck. You don't have to reveal it, so it's always just gonna be like Beast Within or something. But if I'm going first and I have Sand Sketch Plan in hand, I'll like play it, search out a sigil. Like if I don't hit a 6, I cast the sigil, so I'm up 3 health. Recently, I've been like searching out Cast Bones, so I can go Cast Bones and just pass for turn with like 4 counters on it, 4 might tokens. This can feel good like mid game. Like it's really bad late game, but throughout all the game, this card like is always just on point. It's blue, blocks for 3, an ability that I haven't seen on any other card. Like it searches anything. Triggers the Intim for Rhinar as well, 2 action points. I think it's just a solid B. Maybe there's like a card that you could like drop down the track for this, but I like. Card's just straight solid. Reckless Swing, S tier. There's no other, like, you no reason to ever, like not run this card. This card just wins games like no tomorrow. Everyone's scared to, like, go down to 2 health against a Brute player at all times, just because of this one card. So essentially, you're not versing a 40 health hero, you're versing a 38 health hero. Blood Rush Bellow. this is gonna be divisive, but I genuinely think current day Bloodrush Bellows is an A tier, and there's a reason why. Unless you are running claws and your deck specifically revolves around running claws. Wait, let me reword that. If you're running claws, you need Bloodrush Bellows, and that's it. Like, that's your combo. You don't have a lot of damage output outside of this card, but you only run 3 copies of it, and they're always at the bottom of your deck at the end of your game. Sometimes you're forced to block with them because, like, they're going to hit you with a Command and Conquer, or something along the lines of that. It's still a 3-card setup. At the end of the day, don't forget, it's still a 3-card setup. A lot of the time, like, if I'm playing club, I can just block with this card. It doesn't always feel the best play at all times. But if you are running claws and you're, like, versing an aggressive deck, you're forced to, like, play aggressively and, like, run claws. But I can't rate this as an S. A lot of the time, like, you can just draw into straight 2 reds and, like, your turn's ended just by swinging for 7. So yeah, A. Alright, I gotta start hurrying up. Alpha Rampage. This card has gotten worse over time. It is a C. I don't care if you're going first. I don't care if it's, like, late game. You're not playing an Alpha Rampage. It's just not happening. Cost 3, discard a card, and it's coming in for 9. Intim 2, who cares? Alright, so that's it for what's it called? Welcome to Wraith. The next set I think we got was Crucible War. No, Crew? Was it Crucible War? I forget the name. I just know it was Crew. Predatorial Assault. This card is garbage. I'm gonna just chuck this at F. Who cares about Dominate? Barraging Bighorn. This is your replacement over Breakneck Battery. This can still be ran today. If you just want, like, Go Again. Swing Fist Think Later. I've ran lists in the past where I've ran this. I still think it's good, but just because you have Madcap Charger is just 10 times better than this. Well, not 10 times, it just deals 1 more. Riled Up is gonna go to D tier, just because Smash Instinct, I feel like it's better than that just because the 1 extra damage. Arg Smash, I think this card is currently terrible. You're giving up momentum so your opponent to pop cards your opponent has. Even if it's against a Kano, they're just gonna deal more damage. If it's against a dash, you're giving them momentum for them to swing more at you. This card's just terrible. Beast Within is straight S. There's no explaining. If you build a brute deck, the first card you need to buy is this card, Beast Within. Best card ever printed for brute. Sheaf Radikar, I think that's how you say his name. Unplayable. And Lady Dimitrescu, or whatever her name is, absolutely unplayable. Even in Blitz, you don't even play these. Alright, and I think... Oh no, this was Crew as well. Massacre? Massacre can be good, but it's only on if it's discarded at a random cost and not as an effect. So it doesn't work on like Beat Chest, it doesn't work on Pulpings, it doesn't work on other cards like that, and it costs 3. If it didn't cost 3 and it costs 2, I think this card would be like actual just S, but Pulping, I can't rate it as S because it doesn't block, but it is the best card in your deck for like straight damage. A lot of the time, like if you're versing an aggressive deck and you don't even hit the 6 and don't gain the Dominate, like an aggressive deck will just still take the 6 rather than like blocking with 2 cards. But this is like your whole game plan is to like get your opponent to start blocking and like play tempo with you so you can beat them in the tempo game. But because this card just doesn't block in, like, I've had, like, hands where I've just been bricked by, like, 3 non-block cards. If this card blocked for 0, like, if this card just blocked for 0, S. But it doesn't block at all. And yeah, we're in Monarch. Smash with Big Tree. We used to run this, but this is just unplayable. 6 doesn't block. I know it's yellow, but 6 doesn't block. Tear Limb from Limb. This card, I'm feeling like is getting better and better with time. KO runs it. Reiner can run it. I know Levia can't, but we're not really talking about Levia. But over time, this card's getting better and better just because the amount of, like, good 6 attacks we are getting. Alright, and I think that's it for Monarch, and now we're on to Everfest. Bad Bets. F. No, Unplayable. It's blue. Blocks for 3. Rolling Thunder. F. High Striker? High Roller? High Roller. E. It is just an Intim at the end of the day. Blue Intim. Bare Fangs. I'm gonna rate this B. I think it is, like, one of the better cards in our decks. If we do want to, like, if you want to push damage and not worry about blocking too much, this card is your card. Regenerate. Regenerate is going to go to C. Oh, Rejuvenate. I think, so this is, you've got Riled Up, you've got Smash Instinct, and you've got Rejuvenate. Out of these 3 cards, Rejuvenate is the best because it helps with that late game, like, punish, where if you are discarding cards and you discard, like, one of these or 2 of these, at least you know they're at the bottom for, like, a reckless swing. Wild Ride. Wild Ride, I'm gonna chuck at B. It's really, like, when you whiff on this and you don't hit the 6, it just feels terrible. So, but it's still, like, ran in every single, like, brute deck, right? You can't just, like, not run this card because, and it doesn't block as well. So yeah, these 2 cards, they're like the same value. They're like, KO runs this, and Reiner runs this, and runs both at the same time. Alright. KO's specialization card. This can be D. It is blue. It can help with rolling for, like, scabs or something. And then Swing Big. Swing Big. Give your opponent an agility token. Push damage. This is, like, one of the higher, like, rated cards because it's, like, a 6 damage card, like, for 0 cost, and then the card you pitch is 2 damage, or it's a 4 and 4. Like, the way I, like, figure it out in my head, it's like swing for 4, swing for 4. Yes, I know, like, they can overblock it and gain a quicken token, but, like, this card at least blocks. Like, it at least blocks. And swing for 8 is just, a lot of the time, you can just go pitch swing 8, like, or, like, pitch swing Command and Conquer, and they just feel like the same value to me. Pack Call. So I think this is onto the Dorinthia and Reiner starter deck. I decided to put Pack Call in here because that's actually when the card came out. Pack Call is just a straight A. It's just solid in blue. It's solid in red. Solid in blue, solid in yellow. You can run in red, but it's just a wasted slot. But it's just there, so you always know that your, like, your Wild Rides, your Pulpings, your Bare Fangs always trigger. Also can, like, filter out cards that you don't want. Like, let's say you already have, like, a good 6 attack in hand, and, like, you don't want to get, like, a barraging beatdown off it. This card's just, like, really good. Wrecking Ball doesn't block. If this card blocked, D. But because it doesn't block, it's an E. Beast Mode, funny name. I've never played Beast Mode in my life. It's just gonna go to an F. I think it's red 3, gain +2 if you've intimed. Cleansing Bellow, we'll rate this in the same as High Roller, because it's the same card in my opinion. And then I think we're on to Dynasty. Madcap Charger, solid A. Swing for 5, swing for 5. So swing for 5 with Madcap Charger, swing for 5 with Romping Club for 3 cards. Very good value. Like you can't like easily block this. It's like 3 and a 2 and a 3 and a 2, or like block with equipment. It's always leaking damage. I don't know the name of this aura. It's straight unplayable. I'm not even gonna look up the name. I just know anything that like isn't damage with a brute deck, just straight unplayable. Madcap Mauler from memory. It is called Madcap Muscle. So cost 3, 6 attack. As an additional cost to play Madcap Muscle, discard a random card. If the discarded card is 6 or more, has +3. So that's just like a worse Show No Mercy, right? Yeah, no, this card's just straight unplayable. Cost 3. If it cost 2, kind of good, but horrible. I don't know the name of this card. I think this is if you have discarded a 6, gain +4 to 3/2. Go again, but other than that, it's like absolutely unplayable. I'm just gonna put that unplayable. Berserk. On release, this card wasn't even that great, and then KO came out and racked up like 400 points. There's a cricket in here. I know it is banned now, and if it were to be ever unbanned, I feel like all brutes would get banned pretty quickly. Triggers Leviathan, triggers Rhinar a lot, triggers KO even more. It has to go an S, because if it were to be unbanned, like these 3 heroes are just insanely powerful. Skullcrack. 2 for 6. If discarded at random, gain 1 resource. I feel like this can still be ran, but this card is just pretty terrible. Like, if you don't randomly discard it, you aren't like, you're not arsenaling this. It just feels terrible. Like, I know like pitch swing for 6 is still good, especially if you run claws, but it's not B. It has to be C, even though it's the card that I announced. But it's just with recent times, ever since Heavy Hitters came out, this card just feels really terrible. Savage Beatdown. This is a solid D pick. If you build a deck that is set up correctly to play Savage Beatdown, this is like a really strong card, because I think it's like swing for 12. So you have to have been able to discard a 6 before. So like, let's say on a what's it called? On like a Blood Rush Bellows turn. Yeah, so if you play this on like a Blood Rush Bellows turn, it's kind of good, but it feels like wasted potential. I know it's swing for 14 in him, or like, you know, extra things with KO. Maybe you can run it at 1 copy in your deck if you want to like try and set it up, but like it just feels really terrible. Numbskull, I think this is an F. It doesn't get buffed off like what's it called? Barraging Beatdown. Yes, it can't be negged by what's that herald called? But it does nothing else, right? It does nothing else. You want your 6 attack 2 cost to have like an impact, unless it's a yellow. Dig Up Dinner. I feel like this is just C. Helps with recursion during the late game, does heal as well. Can be an off turn kind of like choice. It's decent. And then I think we're on to, what's it called? The Bright Lights exclusive card. This card, I've never ran it, and if I am running, like, versing a dash, I don't care about running this against dash. It doesn't block. It is 6 yellow, but there could be a deck down the track where you might need to at least destroy one of their items on the board. So I feel like it is a good C choice. Alrighty. On to heavy hitters. A lot of these cards I haven't played with. I've only picked the ones that I know are good and put them in my deck. And that includes Mighty Windup sitting at a B, and Agile Windup sitting at an A. Being able to, like, trigger your claws, be able to trigger Rhino hero ability, be able to, like, trigger any, like, discard effect abilities. I know they block for 2, but who cares? You are either using them to pitch with, or you're using them to gain extra momentum with. The agility feels insanely powerful when you're running Rhino. Being able to, like, discard this just on a turn so you can gain go again on the next turn, unlike, you know, like a Command and Conquer into, like, swinging with another Command and Conquer or something along the lines of that, right? This card is just insanely good. And Agile Windup, this, not Agile, Mighty Windup, the same kind of thing. I know you don't gain the go again, but, like, being able to threaten 1 extra damage off, like, Command and Conquer, all strength rules, Splatter Skull, like, all your on-hit abilities, like, this is just really good. Also with these two, when you're playing Reiner, when you're playing Reiner against a Kano, you can trigger these just by discarding onto, like, their Ragamuffin trigger, where they have to intim that card. It's one of the ways that I've found that I've been beating Kanos these days, just by that one interaction. If they aren't aware about it, and, like, they're just playing their own game, you can, like, catch them out pretty easily. Even though I think I've lost to every single one in recent times. Runner. I don't think this card is good, but it can see play with, like, your Agile Windups and everything. Bonebreaker Bellow, solid A pick. This with Madcap Charger, like, being able to choose the card you want to discard and give, like, a straight flat 10 damage with Romping Club is just insanely powerful. And at the end of the day, it can just be flat 3 as well. Like, you can just go, like, pitch a blue, not choose to beat chest, and then just swing for 7 with club. 7? Yeah, 7. Assault Battery, straight D. I'm never running this. Who cares about the beat chest on it? This one as well, I forget the name. Straight D. I need to start pulling up these cards. I don't know these card effects. Mighty Clash. I think if you defend with this, you clash with your opponent. I think all these clash things on, like, any brute is just terrible, but they're still playable, right? Just terrible. This one kind of terrible as well, but I think this is the one with go again, right? Maybe this one can see play, like, over a Bighorn or something. Maybe, I don't know. If you've discarded game +1, cost 2, I think this is in the same category. These cards can be playable at a as a budget, but they're not any good. This card wages with your opponent for a might token, I think. And I don't even think it's on It's not even on hit, it's just on play. This is actually pretty good, but I wouldn't run it ever. Actually, let's just chuck all these one. No, that's right. Yeah, this can go here. And the agility one, I have been deciding to play this or not, but I haven't been able to actually like fit it in a list ever. And then on top of that, this also still blocks for 2 as well. I actually don't know the name of this card. I know this is +3, go again, create a might. It could be good. Maybe I can put this in B. It does have go again +2. I think it is +3. And creates a might token for next turn. I don't have it in any other lists, but it could be like I could have a look at it and see if it's worth. Something about go again. Who cares? E. This is the prevent to create. Sorry, I don't know heavy hitters that well, man. It's pretty. Let's have a look at it. I don't know what it does. No fear. This is straight F. This is always unplayable. Banish your whole hand to do nothing, and like, oh, I'm not gonna get pummeled. Well, you should have blocked it anyways. Clash of Agility is the only block card I'd actually consider running. Just being able to gain the extra go again, instead of discarding, but it isn't a 6 attack. So it's playable, but that's about it. Prevent to create a might token. This can sit in D. I'm fine with sitting this in D. Another card. I don't know these cards, man. Heavy hitters was a time that I just stopped playing. So this one is Wall of Meat and Muscle. When this defends you control a might token. Absolutely terrible. You're not having a might token at the exact same time. And I forget the name. I don't know the name of this one. It's just going straight E. E. Alright. On to the cards I do know. Send Packing. So cost 3 is yellow and has a decent ability. So it banishes your opponent's arsenal. And if this card hits, it's gone for good, right? So it's like a mini Command and Conquer. On top of this, your opponent, if it doesn't hit, it goes back to your opponent's hand. In recent lists, I've been tossing up between running Send Packing and Rejuvenate. And I feel like, personally... Oh, where is Rejuvenate? Where is my Rejuvenate? Here. I feel like these cards fit the exact same role when building decks. This can be really good, but a lot of the time, it's usually just never hitting, right? Meanwhile, Rejuvenate always has a static ability that can help out during late game. I think like in my list, I have like 1 of these and 2 of these. That's like subject to change, but like Send Packing doesn't always feel like mandatory. I know like you can have a deck of Send Packing and like all the disruptive cards, but the fact that this costs 3 just feels really terrible. So I just have to put it at C. Smashback Alehorn. I really love this card. I thought this card was really bad when like the release cards were coming out for it, just because it defended for 2. But because it defended for 2, I didn't run it. But after running it for a while, this card gives you the agility token and it gives you a +1 as well. That is like really good. Has go again. You can just end on it. If you don't want to like swing your opponent for any reason, you just play this. it's like really good. Talk a big game. This card is going to be the first A card in a while. Talk a big game is like the biggest bluff card in the world. Because what you can do is like play it and then just swing for club and like call 4. Your opponent either has to defend it or like it feels like barraging beatdown. It feels like it like playing barraging beatdown. Because it forces your opponent to block. I know like sometimes it's blocking with one card, but like it's insane. I versed an opponent and I think I did like a to double Blood Rush Bellows into like swing for 10, but then calling 5 on the talk a big game, so that the opponent had to block with all of their equipment like extremely early to like, so I didn't get that value. It felt really good. Every single time I play this, your opponent doesn't know if you're going to pummel them. Your opponent decides if they're going to block with 1 or 2 cards. You can say a crazy number against an opponent, like let's say 6, like on a club, and it like makes them want to block. Like this card's really good. Cast Bones. I think this is a one of in every single deck, especially if you go first. Yes, creating 6 feels really good, but especially if you go first. Other than that, it's a dead card. You want to block with it outside of going first. I don't know the name of this card, and this KO specialization is just a straight E. Show No Mercy is what I wanted, but on a 2 cost. So if it intimidates, and if your opponent, all their cards in their hand, like if they have no cards in hand, gains +3. So this is like what what's it called? Alpha Rampage could have been. But this card is just straight cheeks. Your opponent never has no cards in hand. They always have 1 card in hand. The fact that costs 3 instead of 2. This card costs 2, I'd consider putting this higher. This card is just straight unplayable. And now on to the 2 cards we got from the KO specialization of the KO Armory deck. Run through is very good. I'm gonna chuck it as a C because this is just ran in every single KO list, but Rhinar can run this as well. Especially with like a beaten trackers build. I really like this card. I don't have it in any lists right now, but it's just that almost good enough where I feel like it doesn't deserve to be anything lower than C. And then Strength Rules All. This is just a B. I have this in every single one of my lists because it feels like a second Command and Conquer. It's insane against assassins, it's insane against all ninjas, it's insane against ninjas, assassins. What's the other one? Ninja assassin, rangers. It just feels like a really strong card. Yes, I know it's like if they just block 3, they don't get rid of the card, but the fact that it costs 2 and swings for 6 and has like an on-hit ability that can destroy their arsenal, very good card. Splatter Skull. This is just a new S tier. This card is insanely powerful with the on Rhinar with the discard cards. You can pitch swing with Splatter Skull. They choose not to block a card. You go discard a card and then like create your agility or might token in Tim, and then they're forced for that card to be sent to grave. It's an insanely good card. Look, it's not ST, but it is at least A. Like I have 3 of this in every single one of my lists. And then to finish it off, Thick-Eyed Hunter. I like Thick-Eyed Hunter. it's a decent blue. You can like cheese out. It's a decent yellow. You can like cheese it out by like having no cards in hand to like block with or attack with. It feels very good. But yeah, that's everything. As I want to say the #1 brute player in the world, even though no good tops in the world or anything like that, just constantly tops 8s at every single event with Reiner. Constantly. Like, not all the time, but as of recent. Yeah, let me know what you think of the list. We're just, I think, over an hour while recording. I'm gonna edit this down very quick. Sorry, I'm like talking over myself. But yeah, let me know what you think of the list. The link for this will be in the description below. So you can make your own list and tell me what, and like even link it to me on Twitter or something, and I'll go over it. Anyways, that's it for me. More content coming soon. Unfortunately, I don't know, man. The game's good right now.